It's Ms. Hurst from Hamilton County Schools. We are going to continue on our work about a starry home today, and this week we're going to be really looking at some texts about what has really happened or what's really happening with the search for intelligent life, and we're going to read a fiction text just to change things up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to read a text called "Only a Small Fraction of Space Has Been Searched." But before we do that, I want to go ahead and start the warm-up. So this is the text, "Only a small fraction of space has been searched for aliens." But I want you guys to do a warm-up really quick. What are some tips for figuring out the central idea of a text? Pause me while you think about that, and then we will get started. All right, so hopefully you've paused me at this point. So I don't know if you guys put this, but one way to determine the central idea of a text is to just read the title. In this case, the title of the text is pretty much equivalent to the central idea. So when we go back and look at it, the title is "Only a Small Fraction of Space Has Been Searched for Aliens." It's actually going to pretty much be our central idea. So the central idea of this text is a very small portion of space has already, my goodness, been searched for aliens. All right, so knowing that, I want you guys to do a contiguous first read, which means I want you to just read straight through the text. And you can be highlighting any evidence that you think proves that that is the central idea of the text. I do want to point out the text itself is only about 1.5 pages long, and then it goes into some power words. These are words that you need to know the meaning of. And I do want you to think about how some of these definitions could actually help prove the central idea that only a small portion of space has already been searched for aliens. Okay? When we come back together, we're going to be looking at how some evidence actually proves this central idea. So that's something you can be thinking about while you read. Pause me while you work. All right, so hopefully you guys have looked at this text. You've read it straight through. There are some really good examples that prove in this text that only a really small portion of space has been searched so far for aliens. The first one is this metaphor or analogy here, where it talks about the volume of observable space combed so far for ET is comparable to searching a volume the size of a large hot tub for evidence of fish in Earth's oceans. And then I'm going to go back and do this little quote too. If you look at a random hot tub's worth of water in the ocean, you wouldn't always expect a fish, right? That makes sense. So how does that prove the central idea? A very small portion of space has already been searched for aliens. So just like it says here, I'm so sorry. Just like it says here, we've looked at a very, very small portion of space so far for the texts, or for, not the text, for aliens. So the ratio of space that has been searched to the overall amount of space is very small. This matters because there just might not be aliens in the part we've already searched. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to the text. And it's talking about how, like, yeah, we've done more than we had in 2010. And it's talking about using radio waves. And like, we're only going to use the radio waves that are like basically what we use to send music and news to your car. But they think that that's probably the easiest for communication. But it says they imagined a cosmic haystack made out of radio waves. So if you guys are not familiar with that idea, this needle in a haystack, the idea of a needle in a haystack is that it's really, really difficult to find a needle inside a haystack because it's something so small within something much larger. So the idea of a needle in a haystack proves how difficult it could be to find alien communications. We are only looking at one small area of radio waves, and this small area of radio waves is like the most important part for scientists to look at. But there are so many other places that aliens could be communicating through. Okay, so we've only looked at this very small portion. Okay, so that was really just the first little bit of the text. I want you to go through the rest. There's this much more text. I want you to find at least one more piece of evidence in this section of the text, and then I want you to use one of the power words to help prove our central idea. Once you've done that, I want us to come back together. So pause me while you do that work. All right, hopefully you guys noticed that one of the power words, Goldilocks zone, it doesn't actually mention that in the text, but it is really helpful when thinking about the central idea of this text. So hopefully you guys did the definition of Goldilocks zone as a piece of evidence. It's really important for us to remember that good readers do consider how an author develops their central idea throughout the text. We're going to be doing this work later on this week with another text, so make sure you feel comfortable with that. And you guys are good to go.